Welcome back to the channel. Now, as those of you who've watched my videos before, you know I've done quite a few of those singing the praises of this Simplicity Regent lawn tractor and especially its free floating deck. You may be surprised to find out then there are some things that I don't love about this, and we're going to get into those right now. Now, most Simplicity lawn tractors have gone to this toggle switch on the dash for your height of cut adjustment. And so what that's actually controlling is a small electric motor on the deck that's moving linkage up and down. Well, this toggle switch and electric motor is kind of a neat technological feature. I do miss having notches on on my deck where I know notch 3 is where I cut. And it may be an OCD thing on my part, but I like the consistency of putting it in that notch and knowing exactly what my height of cut is, and I can repeat that again and again. As you can see in my little demo there, this thing has very good maneuverability and its turning radius is pretty tight. Unfortunately, that comes with one negative, and it comes in when you're turning left. When you're turning left, the blade offset and the overlap lines up such that you get a strip of uncut grass. Um, so you can see here, I've got a strip right here between the two blades of grass that it did not cut when you make a hard left turn. Why that's particularly frustrating is because the left-hand side of the deck is what you trim around trees with and stuff because it's the non-discharge side. I completely understand why they did that or why that happens. I did a video detailing the design of this deck and why it cuts so well, you know, with the large blade and the smaller blade and the way they're oriented for airflow. But it's a negative, something I have to live with. So I just know it happens when I'm doing those tight left turns. I know I'm going to have to come back and overlap that spot where the taller grass is. Another thing I don't love about this lawn tractor is its fuel consumption. So it does use more fuel than I'm used to. But that comes down to this baby right here. I would say this is a large displacement V twin. So this baby is 724 cc's, 23 horsepower. That is completely bonkers for this mower with a 38-inch mower deck. If we look 20 years ago, this 38-inch mower deck would have been used with a like 14 horsepower motor. Um, so we are using more fuel. There are some advantages to this. I mean, this thing does not even, you can climb up the steepest hill and be cutting tall grass and it will not bog down at all. In my use, I keep my yard pretty well maintained. There's no hint of this engine bogging down. So in the long run, that should translate to good reliability and things like that. I would much rather have an oversized engine than an undersized engine. It provides a lot more headroom there, and normally that translates to better fuel or better reliability. However, I have noticed this baby likes to suck the gas. Interesting enough, I do have another video where I changed this thing over to um, AMSOIL, small engine oil, and that actually reduced my fuel consumption over 20%. So that's something to look into. Um, but I'm sure if I had a 16 horse engine with that AMSOIL, I'd be using less fuel. But again, it's a trade off that I think it's worth it. But something, you know, it's always nice to use less fuel. All right, one other thing I don't love about this is the traction. So going forward, most cases the traction is pretty good. I have run into an issue in reverse that it likes to spin very easily. And I believe the reason for that comes down to part of the reason why this mower cuts so good. It's the rollers on the deck. So if we look at the geometry of that, it's made to go forward. And when we reverse, it's wanting to kind of push that mower deck into the ground. It provides a lot of drag, and we break traction on the rear tires. So if you've noticed it in some of my early videos with the Simplicity, I would often, while reversing, use the lever here to put the mower deck in the transport mode to get those rollers off the ground so that I wouldn't break traction. Since then, I've mitigated this issue by dropping the pressure down in these rear tires to something like 2 or 3 psi, barely any, basically enough to keep them on the rim, and that has helped a great deal. Changing the height of the rear tires or pressure in the rear tires can affect the height of the frame, but that does not affect our deck in this instance, so you can get away with that. The last thing on my list is the headlights. Now, it's not for the reason that you think. I love the headlights. Look at them. They're LEDs. They're awesome. But who the hell uses headlights on a lawn tractor? I never get to use them and take advantage of them. I guess maybe I'll have to come out at night and just drive around. Thanks for watching. Love this thing. But as with anything in life, if anybody tells you everything's great about it, they're lying. So there are some things we don't like about it, but they're trade-offs between things. They're actually trade-offs between things I like about it, but they create a little bit of a uh, unwanted consequence there. But overall, love this thing. Definitely buy it again. If you got any questions about it, put them down in the comments. I'll respond to them, no problem. Adios.